In the last days of the age, the world was not at peace. The world was at war. Jerusalem burned. The temple that had stood for centuries blazed like a funeral pyre. Roman siege engines crushed its walls, and the streets ran red with the blood of the innocent. Far away, in the heart of the empire, Christians were hunted for sport. Crucified along the roads, burned alive as torches in the gardens of Caesar. To the crowd, their screams were entertainment. To heaven, their cries were a call for justice. And on the plains of Megiddo, the armies of the nations gathered, banner against banner, empire against truth. The prophets called it Armageddon. It was the final boast of a world drunk on its own power. The faithful watched these things and whispered the same question, "How long, O Lord? How long until you judge and avenge?" Then the sign appeared. In the firmament above the realm, a star ignited. Not a wandering light, not a passing spark, a blazing comet with a tail like a drawn sword stretching across the sky. It did not move. It did not fade. It stood over the world like a blade of fire. In every land, eyes turned upward. Soldiers went silent. Merchants forgot their trade. Villagers stepped out into the night, trembling. Even the wicked felt it in their bones. The animals felt it too. Predators paused mid-hunt. Flocks grew still. The forests quieted. Creation itself seemed to hold its breath. The sign was unmistakable. The king was no longer seated at a distance. The king was rising. Then came the knowing. A wave, unseen but undeniable, swept across the realm. From desert to forest, from island to empire, every human heart felt the same sudden truth. He has come. Consciences flared awake. The weight of ages lifted. Deception, silent and constant since Eden, was torn away like a veil. Some hearts were pierced with joy, others with dread. But no one could pretend nothing had changed. No one could say, "I did not know." Above Jerusalem, the sword star burned brighter. And then he descended. As dawn broke over the hills, the mount appointed from the beginning shook. Lightning flashed, thunder rolled across the valleys, and the Son of Man came in power and great glory, not as a lamb to be slain, but as a king to make war. His feet touched the Mount of Olives, and the mountain split beneath him. The earth itself opened to receive its rightful Lord. Armies who had mocked heaven now saw the one they had pierced. Their courage melted. Their weapons meant nothing. He did not need legions of men. He did not bargain. He did not negotiate. With a word, the Battle of Armageddon ended. The sword that went forth from his mouth was truth itself. Chariots shattered. Shields and spears disintegrated like dust caught in a storm. The proud were brought low in a single breath. The persecutor's throne collapsed. The age of Rome was over. The age of the reign had begun. And as the smoke of judgment cleared, another miracle unfolded. Across the realm, graves trembled. Tombs cracked. Stones that had sealed the dead for centuries rolled aside. The righteous rose. Men and women who had died in faith, martyrs and servants, prophets and pilgrims, stood up in glorified bodies. Not as ghosts, not as memories, but as living rulers of a new world. The dead in Christ rose first, the first great company of resurrected saints. They felt no sickness, no age, no decay, only the strength and clarity of incorruptible life. And they were given a charge: rule with him. They gathered to the king in Jerusalem, drawn by his presence, by his voice, by the promise he had made long before. You shall sit with me in my kingdom. Before them stood the Lord of hosts, no longer hidden, no longer mocked, no longer refused. He spoke, and the words reshaped history. Deception was abolished. Truth was law. The reign of lies was over. The reign of the King had begun.